Coming up, DC Public Schools in crisis. Enrollment is up, but funding is down. Find out what a $40 million budget deficit means for students and teachers.
Plus, it's Collegiate Alcohol Awareness Week. We'll tell you what AU is doing to keep students from drinking too much. District Wire News starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Matt Coling.
And I'm Laura Petty. Enrollment in DC public schools is up, but more students doesn't automatically mean more teachers. Gabrielle Gorder reports on how DC budget cuts are affecting schools and how one DC public high school is handling the money shortage.
More students are walking the hallways of DC public schools, but there are fewer teachers to write the lesson plans. Over 250 teachers have been laid off because of a nearly $44 million shortfall in the 2010 public school budget. At Woodrow Wilson High School in Tenleytown, only 15% of the classes exceed the recommended 28-to-1 student-teacher ratio. That's better than most DC public schools. Since the budget cut, the ratio has only increased slightly. Mary Beth Waits, the assistant principal of Woodrow Wilson Public High School, says that careful preparation before the start of the school year allowed them to cut back on layoffs.
We did lose money in our budget. We lost, I think, around $400,000 in our budget, but we were able to absorb it in other ways so that we didn't end up having to cut a teacher position and collapse classes. I think that the guiding principle for us is if we could cut without affecting student schedules, that's what we're going to try to do.
The budget cuts come at the same time as a program for international student assessment tests says that U.S. students are falling behind the rest of the world in their studies.
Class size is only one element in quality of instruction. I have several really great teachers that have oversized classes. The quality of that instruction is still really good because those teachers are really good. You know, the most important factor in an effective classroom is the quality of the teacher and the relationship with the kids.
Gabrielle Gorder, District Wire News, Washington.
American University's campus is now far more sustainable than the past. AU received a B+ on the College Sustainability Report Card. Director of Sustainability Chris O'Brien says his office not only focuses on the physical environment, but also how students and staff are treated. AU is working toward improving its sustainability through projects such as the renovation of the new School of International Service building.
New SIS building is planned to achieve what's called LEED Gold certification. Okay. It was designed from the outset to be as green a building as possible.
AU's grade improved from a D+ a few years ago. O'Brien says that AU is already working on improving the areas that need more work.
College campuses around the nation are putting a focus this week on the dangers of drinking. In partnership with the Bacchus Network, American University is working to bring attention to the issue. Tom Hanna has more on the story.
With 1,700 people aged 18 to 24 dying each year due to excessive alcohol consumption, schools look to the National College Alcohol Awareness Week for answers to these problems. Kate Diamidio, a health educator, explains what the week means to accomplish.
And basically, what we do, what university officials do is plan programs, both educational and fun things, to bring about awareness of some of the issues surrounding alcohol use on college campuses.
However, many students on AAU's campus are unaware of the Awareness Week or believe that it's simply a waste of time. Josh Perlman, a senior at American University, believes that Alcohol Awareness Week does not attract the students it needs to.
You look at the kids that are more at risk for alcohol-related issues and more at risk to do stupid things while drinking. Those are the kind of kids that tend to blow off Alcohol Awareness Week.
With crime rates much higher at campuses with major drinking problems, including problems such as drunk driving, vandalism, property damage, and physical violence, campuses around the country still look for answers to controlling alcohol abuse. For District Wire News, I'm Tom Hanna.
And we have an H1N1 update. Last week, 10 students and 7 faculty and staff reported flu-like symptoms to American University. There's a total of 17 reported sicknesses last week. And overseas, an American University student came down with the flu in Egypt, while 2 universities in Cairo shut down temporarily because of the threat of the outbreak.
Stay with us to see what's new at the annual Best of Bethesda Festival. Charlie Arnault reports on how the festival and a few people can make a big difference in the life of a child.
And are you worried about the future of the Metro? We'll tell you how Metro bus drivers are working to make your commute a little bit safer.
Metro buses are putting safety first this week, and they're doing everything by the book. With many serious accidents piling up, the Washington Metro Transit Authority is instituting a Safety First program. The program requires all bus drivers to drive at the speed limit, make sure people are seated before pulling away from a bus stop, and they are not allowed to pass another bus that's picking up riders. WMATA fired 3 bus drivers last month, all for reckless behavior.
The 19th annual Best of Bethesda Festival drew many people out of their homes and onto the streets Saturday afternoon. Many families came for the free dance lessons, food samples, and prizes, while others came to make a difference. Charlie Arnold has more on the story.
For many people, the Best of Bethesda Festival was just a fun way to spend a sunny Saturday. For others,
there it is.
It meant something more.
I did 2 stem cell transplants.
The festival is a fundraiser benefiting the Children's Inn at the National Institutes of Health, a place Erica Sarte has called home for the past 2 years.
I was in Canada doing my treatment, and when I got kind of finished all my options in Canada for treatment, one of my doctors referred me down here.
The Children's Inn at NIH is like a hotel for sick children and their families, except the inn doesn't charge for its accommodations, which is why the fundraiser is so important.
The vendors that have actually paid sponsorships to join the Back to Bethesda event, we donate that back to the Children's Inn and help with our operating expenses.
This is Skip Shore's 3rd year as a vendor. He has no problem paying the $1,500 price tag for a booth.
We spend a lot of our time supporting numerous cancer type situations.
It was an exciting day for all ages. Kids left with painted faces, parents with a few free goodies, but Eric walked away with a whole lot more. He just found out he gets to return home to Canada this week.
It's been a great experience. It felt like home for as much as home can feel like, for having to be down here for so long and for the reasons we're down here.
The Children's Inn booth has been very busy today from all the foot traffic from the Best of Bethesda Festival. Making it even busier is that right behind me across the street is another festival, the annual Taste of Bethesda. In Bethesda, I'm Charlie Arnold, District Wire News.
It's up, and away with national news. National TV stations showed live footage of a homemade helium balloon floating through the Colorado skies on Thursday. They thought a young boy was on board. He was later discovered hiding in the attic, but officials are now saying it was just a stunt by a family hoping to get their 15 minutes of fame. The boy said on a CNN interview that he hid in the attic because it was all, quote, for the show.
That's all we have for today. Join us next week on District Wire News. I'm Matt Coling.
And I'm Laura Petty. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.